one. You know what it is, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
You know who it is, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
Ode, Maurice, Ode, Maurice.
Maurice, Ode, Maurice, Ode.
Black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
Black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
Hey, oh.
Yes, Mo?
Are you ready?
Let's go!
Black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy. It's the Black and Snerdy podcast with Ode and Maurice.
Hey, Nas!
Hi, Nas! Oh, HU is in the building over
HU
here.
is representing right now. Look at this. This is a beautiful feeling. I saw a little heart right there. That was beautiful.
We always love when our bison come roaming through with the rest of the pack or
Exactly,
the pride or
exactly.
whatever, a herd.
Herd, yes.
herd.
Because they are
a herd.
They are a
of
herd
animals.
animal. All right. Welcome to another episode of the Black and Snerdy podcast, the only Black and Snerdy podcast that has a bunch of black snerds. I hate to do this off the chat, but like, so we've been blasting the Black and Snerdy message on Facebook and everything like that. And did you see that message where it was just like, what's a snerd?
Yes, but his name is Maurice.
I hate that his name was
No,
Maurice.
his name is Maurice, and he said he was going to listen if we shouted him out.
Oh, well, then
And-
I love that his name is Maurice.
And also the founder of Black Fae Day. So shout out to y'all.
Shout out.
I mean, the question of what is snerdy, I think that people are confused. Maybe they're confused because they've never heard it before.
Yeah.
One of them, they looked it up and they said they found like on Urban Dictionary that a snerd is a man who sniffs bicycle seats after
seat.
women.
That's not
There
who we
is
are.
no bicycle sniffing
I'm not gonna.
here.
I don't like kink shaming or anything like that. I
No
just
kink
don't.
shaming.
No kink shaming. I personally don't see the practicality of. It's so specific.
Well, I guess because
Like, specifically off
it's
of
the
a bicycle
same way
seat?
if like a man who
It's
likes
like,
to
I'll drink
sniff-
your bathwater.
No, like men who like to sniff panties.
Okay, but it's specifically a bicycle seat.
Well, because the bicycle
I don't know
seat
if
gets
you,
hot and it gets warm and it's
but
gonna
like
get all
it has
your
a
juices.
cushion to it, and it absorbs like so much of the outdoor elements
But
that like
what if you have an
it's getting
indoor bike?
diluted. Whatever you're listening to, whatever you're sniffing is gonna get diluted.
If
as fuck.
you have an indoor bike, like your little bicycle, you
Thank
got in
you.
there.
It is not
It's
practical
not
at
practical
all.
on the
It's
outside,
really
but
not.
if you have an indoor bicycle for exercising,
Yeah,
that's not going to have any air diluting it. It's going to be a pretty pungent
exercise air.
situation.
It's gonna be diluted by
Exercise
exercise
air.
Yeah, exercise workout air.
Think about how much air is in your room and how
Oh,
much.
there's a bunch. First off, there's air, and there's no more mold now. So shout
Shout out to you, 311.
Shout out to 311 because apparently 311 gets the job done.
Yes, thank you very much.
Where the landlord should have, and the super who, boy oh boy,
I think that
apparently he lost his phone.
I think they felt that I was
He
about
lost
to
his phone.
do an investigative, because I found all the numbers to call. I was about to do it, and you said wait one more day, and
we got some results.
And you got some results.
I'm still waiting to get that leak fucking fixed, but
it's been less.
something's
happened. It's been
some
less.
things are happening. Some things are happening.
Well, either way, just so you all know, snerdy stands for sexy nerd.
Sexy nerdy, give me your number, girl. I'm sexy nerdy. I wanna role play, girl.
We should add that too. You should save that little bit, and then we're gonna maybe we should add that.
This
to
is
the
me doing DC music.
Go-go music.
Go-go music. Yeah, I blanked on it for a quick.
Which is surprising since that's your region.
We didn't have go-go in Baltimore. Remember when we went to that party?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that wasn't go-go music. That's
DC club. Or
no, that's Baltimore
music.
club music.
Okay, yeah, that makes
so,
sense.
like, Baltimore club music and go-go music, two different regions,
Because
two different styles of music.
Is it considered a part of the DMV?
Yes, it's the Maryland part of the DMV.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I know sometimes people have they get
Yeah.
sensitive about where the
I
the
used
borders
to be,
are.
I used to be that kind of person who used to get like sensitive about borders, but
Listen, Gladys, there's always time for go-go.
you know it has that
I'm beating
that
my
like
feet
loud
right
sound,
now.
right? Yeah. You're beating. She's beating feet.
Beat my feet.
Beating my feet. All right, so.
Are you ready to get started with my favorite part of the...
Is this your favorite part of the podcast?
Well, it's not my favorite part. Well, it's one of my favorite parts.
Fine, it's one of the favorite parts of this. And it's questions. Q&A with M and O. So... at the beginning, I am closing my eyes. I'm just setting it up for everybody else. And then close your eyes. For the listeners, my eyes are closed. For the listeners, we start each podcast with a quick roundtable discussion question in order to get to know the host a little bit better. Because this is somebody's first podcast for somebody. You know what I mean? Like, so you want to get to know who the hell is going to be yelling in your ears for the next hour or so. So,
well, maybe not yelling.
I'm going to be yelling. I will be yelling.
Well, you're the one that has to edit the audio. So
I do have to edit the audio, but like it's less yelling and it's more projecting.
Projecting. We have theater kid voices.
Yes. All right. So my eyes are closed. Give me the question, please. All right. Just give me the cue. Just give me the cue and pass the draw. Where is it? You see where my hand is, right?
I'm sorry. Pick one.
Okay.
Whichever one you want.
Okay, here we go.
You go first.
My question is, what's the best story you heard about your grandparents? Ooh, this is a little bit tough because my grandparents they were like the kind that didn't like to talk about themselves a lot.
But what about stories that people
sides.
told you about them?
They just kept it mad private.
Your mom said some good stories about your grandpa and you.
Okay, all right. You know what? Okay, so for those who don't know, my first best friend. I know that one of my college best friends right now is on here. Shout out to you again, Gladys. But my first best friend was my grandfather on my mom's side, right? And one of the stories that would always be told would be like, I would just like to go hang out with, they called him Mr. Punky, I called him Pop. I don't know why they called him Mr. Punky.
You never know why black people call
I don't know why, but like for me, he was always Pop. He was always just Pop. Like, so I would want to hang out with Pop after school, like, and you would think like, oh, like, did he put you on his shoulders and run you around or what? No, I just want to be in his presence. So like, whether that would be walking to the corner store to get his pack of cigarettes and a donut, or just like hanging out, watching the wheel, watching the stories, like, and I would just watch the stories. I would just like be having a coloring book or something, playing with toys and stuff like that, in the same room while he was watching his stories.
Oh.
Yeah, and so like I think that's my favorite story. My favorite story is that we brought in the new year together, brought in the new millennium together. Look at the hearts. We brought in the new millennium, and there's a picture floating around of like me, like us with our little 2000 millennium hats on, and him just looking over it. Like, I love Pop so much because like, if ever you saw, he never like smiled. He didn't have like a grimace on his face or anything like that, but he just never like smiled. You know what I mean?
Black man face.
He had old black man.
Just like, they're not angry,
he had an old
happy,
black
they're
man
just
face.
like stoic-y.
Yeah.
They kind of have a smirk here and there.
Yeah, he was super duper stoic. So like he was and I don't know. I loved him to this day. Like I always say he was my first and best friend. Again, shout out to him. He was the first letters that I got on my tattoo. As far as like my tattoo dedication to my grandparents. I'm not even sure if this is the right arm. No, it is not. It is this arm. It is this arm. What about you? What's the question? The best story you heard about your grandparents?
Let's see. Okay, well, all right.
And as a side note, I did a science project on the dangers of secondhand smoking, and I convinced my grandfather to quit smoking based off of that.
Well, that's lovely.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that on both sides, I
might take this hat off.
It's kind of hot.
It is hot, and I am very bald. And I don't know if you could tell, but these are sweat droplets just beating down off of my fucking forehead.
It's hot in here. We thankfully have the project heat in New York. that we don't have to pay for it because it's included.
See you at the crossroads. Okay.
All right. So
why that came up when you said Project Heat.
I don't know. But
anyhow, your story.
Both my grandparents, I feel like I could have. There are a lot of stories that I could say, but one that is something that I learned.
Is this the musician story?
About my pop?
Yeah.
No, not that one. But that one is a good one. About my pop Floyd. They used to call him Toot because he was a musician. I didn't know he played trumpet. But one story that I found out about my grandpa from Nigeria, Makuforo Iberi, the original.
Ooh, the OG, triple OG.
So, okay, my grandpa was probably born, let's say he was born in 1920. You know, they don't really have any of the birth records. Yeah. So let's say he was born in 1920. And apparently, growing up, my great grandmother, she sold cola nuts, which in Nigeria, cola nuts are still a big deal. You use them for a lot of different things. You could use them if you're having a party or a celebration, you usually bring out the cola nut, you crack it. It's a whole ceremonial thing. So especially
do you put
back
the lime
then,
in it?
No, you do not.
Put the lime in the cola nut?
Put the lime in the cola nut.
Mix them both together. Put the lime in the cola nut and mix them both up.
Are you done?
Yeah, I am for now. I don't remember the rest of that song.
My great-grandmother, she sold cola nut. And apparently my grandpa was, as I would say, he was a rambunctious child. And rambunctious and also mischievous. You know, and so he would be basically causing havoc in the village, just doing whatever he wanted. And one day he decided at 10 years old that he was gonna bounce. He was getting out of Embassy. He was leaving, and he took my great grandmother's cola nut money from her sales that day, which would have been a lot because cola nut even back then would have been even more of a commodity. He took it. She tries to chase after him to get it, and he just leaves, and he's gone for 10 years. The story is that he walked from Nigeria, from Imo State, which is I'm not great at Nigerian geography, but it's definitely towards more. It's closer to the water than you would be going if you're going up north. He traveled from there all the way to Cameroon, which is the next country right at the border.
Yeah.
He worked on a white man's plantation. The white guy told him he was going to pay him, thankfully. But my grandpa said, "Don't pay me, hold the money." So for 10 years, he worked. The man held the money. And then he made his way back to Imo State, to Embassy, where our family is. He got to the village, and everybody, it was you know when Aladdin shows up as the prince?
Yes.
Imagine that type of who's this guy? What's going on? He had paper British money, which was there was no bank.
That was a big deal.
In 1930, there was no bank in Embassy. There was no the British money was not a thing. So everybody was just in awe at what this man had and what he did. So they promptly made him chief.
Ooh.
And then he went from being the outcast to the prodigal son to being the chief. And then he met my
this is the origin story of the chief.
He met my...
Take a shot, by the way, because she mentioned that her grandfather was chief.
Oh, yes, please, take a shot.
Yeah.
And so then he meets on his way, in his limo, on his way to meet the woman that he had been scheduled to meet to probably marry. He sees my grandmother fetching water. It's a very Jungle Book-esque situation. Remember that scene in Jungle Book?
Yes.
That he sees my grandmother going to get water, pail on her head, and he says, "I want to marry her." And then
that's so cute.
The Iberi dynasty was born.
That is so cute. What did she say? She said, "Sure."
Well,
why not? Can I finish getting the water first before we?
She said, It was a Romeo and Juliet type of situation because she saw him like in this freaking limo. Like, imagine seeing someone in a Maybach and nobody else barely has, like, everyone's using oxen and shit. And she was like, yeah, sure, like, all right, sounds cool.
I don't know if that's Romeo and Juliet.
No, if you let me finish the story.
Okay, all right. I'm listening.
My great-grandparents from my grandmother's side, they were like, no, he was the town menace. You couldn't marry him. And she was like, but I want to. And he was like, if you don't let me marry your daughter, she's going to want to marry me anyway. I have all this money. I have all this land and all this stuff. And you'll never see her again because she'll just be with me. And they were like, fine, if you want to marry him, go right ahead. We'll approve it. And bing, bam, boom, here we are.
I love that the basis of this happy marriage was a threat.
It was a I would say it's a negotiation. It was a negotiation.
Okay.
It was like,
let me marry your daughter. Or she's gonna marry me, and then you won't see her again.
She wanted to marry him. It wasn't like she wasn't coerced into it.
I'm not talking about coerced. I'm talking about for the family.
He was
in order to get the blessing. Look, you can either give me the blessing, or it's gonna happen.
But I think that is something that is pretty standard.
That's a baller ass move.
Like,
no wonder he's the chief.
A lot of people get engaged, and maybe their families are like, we don't want that person to be in the family, and they're like, well, like, I mean, I have another on my maternal side. I have a story like that where my great grandpa Patrick, who was a white Irishman, wanted to marry one of my grandmothers or great grandmothers, or whatever, but of course it's like 1800s. South Carolina, and they were like, no, she's a black girl, you're a white man. He said, fuck what y'all heard. I love her. I don't care what you guys think. Either you're gonna marry, like, we're gonna get married, you're gonna be with us, or you're gonna get lost. So, I think that there's always ways to find love in a hopeless place.
Hello, the DC Bastion.
Hi. And you just be like, whatever. No one can stop your love from blooming.
No one can stop your love. Let that be a lesson to everybody. No one can stop your love from blooming. Maybe that'll be the title of the episode.
Oh, okay. To write it down. Do you have a pen?
Yes, I do have a pen.
Yeah, he has a pen.
I'm slowly learning all of my lessons. Always have a pen and paper to write down possible titles.
Okay, so
what did I say? Always.
The love is always blooming.
That wasn't it.
What was it?
Always let your love bloom or something like that?
No. I don't know why you asked my ADHD ass to repeat something. We'll just look. This was early in the episode. We will be able to
love blooms. There we go. Let's just call it that.
All right. So, are you ready for my question?
Sure.
What's your favorite way to get the daily news?
Probably Twitter, quite frankly. Like, that's where I get, like, most of, like, the big stories that are aggregated for me. And either fortunately or unfortunately, a lot of that news is, like, cartoon shit, wrestling shit, and then the occasional music shit, and then the occasional, like, big headline of, like, oh, this celebrity died, or this celebrity that you, like, finally got married. Did you know that Janet Jackson and Matthew McConaughey dated? Like, I was just like, what? They did? Yeah, they dated. They dated back in
Matthew McConaughey. You know who I thought was thinking when you said that?
Who?
Dude from Friends. What's his name?
Matthew Perry?
Yeah, when you said that, that's why I was so confused. I was like,
that would be...
I was like, him?
Upsetting. That would upset me.
I mean, listen, fools rush in.
Fools rush in. Is that even appropriate to this right now?
That was the name of his movie.
Oh.
With Selma Hayek.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's true. All right, cool.
All right, so...
I didn't even know that he had movies like
yeah,
that.
No, he is.
What was the name? Did we figure out the name of that movie? The Whole Nine Yards?
Yes, The Whole Nine Yards.
Okay, there we go. All right.
That was actually a good movie, and it was a stellar cast, so he should be...
It's fine.
You think every movie is fine.
It's okay.
You think every time I mention a movie, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
And this is why I tell you to stop telling me when I ask you something and you say it's fine. This is why, because I know what your fine means.
Yeah, it's fine.
No.
It means that it's fine.
Things can be fine. They can be good. They can be great. They can be bad. But if somebody says, hey, how do I look? And you say fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Nobody wants to hear that somebody's fine.
Please write in if you ask somebody how you look and they say fine.
If you heard that somebody said you look fine.
If you say, oh, how was the meal that you are eating?
I know that you're watching. I can tell because it says that you're live.
How's the meal?
Please write in
and you say, and they
let
say,
me know.
Oh, it's fine.
If fine is okay.
It's fine.
Or Matt.
No, fine is somebody. Okay. Fine is mid. Fine is this is like.
Maybe it's mid.
No. You know, I'm so glad we're live so I can be here with you in real time.
All right. So let's.
I'll answer the question.
Yes, answer.
My favorite ways of getting the news. I will say it's a mix between Twitter and then my New York Times news app because it sends me the notifications.
Okay.
What did it say?
I've seen both sides of fine. So I can't help there. It's okay. It's all right. No, it's okay. Thank you for the input. I appreciate that, Matt.
I don't thank you, Matt.
I do.
You didn't agree with me.
I do. So, now that we've gotten that out the way,
are you ready to go to our first segment of the show?
Yes, we talk about pop culture in our pop culture segment. This must be.
I was gonna say something, but I'm.
What?
I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna.
Because you're not evil.
I'm gonna just go right in. You know.
So what do we got? What do we got?
Your introduction was fine.
Okay. Yes, it was. You know what? My introduction was fine.
Are you ready to start in the pop culture shenanigans?
Yeah, a true fan. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures in the background. That is the tapestry. If you know, you know. I wish I still had that drop on my mixer.
All right, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes, hit me with that news. Hit me with that sweet, sweet news.
I would like to hit you.
Hit me with that sweet, sweet motherfucking news.
All right, so we're gonna do some updates first on a bunch of different things. Do you want to? Okay. Do you want to start with the good or the bad?
Let's start with the bad first, and then we can go into the good.
Well, okay, I won't say this is. I don't know if we can say this is good or bad, but decide on yourself. Tory Lanez has gotten a third felony charge in the Meg Thee Stallion shooting case. The trial has begun.
He's also on house arrest.
But he just got let out.
Oh, he got let out of house arrest.
I don't know if there was just that one time where he was allowed to leave the house. But he was walking around yesterday or the day before.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens with that. They added the charge of discharging a firearm with gross negligence. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
It was gross.
I mean, it was a gross situation.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that she went through a lot of surgeries and rehabilitation to be able to get back to performing.
She had to go to the hospital.
She had to go to the hospital and have surgery. So everyone, reminder, there are medical records that don't say glass. Because
there are some people out there who
on Twitter
to chime in like, you didn't get shot in the foot.
I literally
and this is actually something that I was thinking about. Like, even this is not a devil's advocate sort of thing, but let's say like someone shoots near your foot. That's still fragments.
Yeah.
That like when
bullets ricochet.
Not just ricochet, bullets like explode out of a fucking gun. And there's pieces like when it hits something, it's not like that bullet is just stuck to that thing. Like this isn't like fucking Superman where like the bullets just like careen in on itself into like the ground and stuff. No, there are fragments that like burst out. So like in my mind, even if quote unquote he shot at her, one, don't shoot at motherfuckers. Like, don't do that. That's not cool. And two, like, fragments are a real thing, and fragments could get stuck into the body like from there. So
and I think that people understand how fragile the human body is.
Yes.
How many arteries we have all over our body, even in places you wouldn't think that, like, because you would think, oh, someone gets shot in their foot or their leg, it's no big deal because it's missing, like, you know, your vital organs. But you have tons of arteries everywhere that if someone nicks them, even a little, you shave it and you get something stuck in there, that you could be possibly deadly. Yeah. So I think that we should just continue giving Megan our thoughts and prayers and well wishes that the little troll doll gets what he deserves.
Yeah.
So,
all right, what's
looking
next?
forward to that. And speaking of trolls, I never want to have to talk about this person on the show. I really don't, because he's disgusting.
He's gross.
Terrible, evil human being.
Unfortunately, some parties still play his music.
Unfortunately.
And if there
boomers.
If there was a suggestion box that I could put a suggestion, like maybe
we
less
should
of this.
Yeah.
Because this is not getting me where I need to go. It's
well,
not setting the vibe.
R. Kelly. Friday, I found out randomly that an album entitled I Admit It had been released, and the first song, it was called I Admit It, and I did not go listen to the song, but of course it was on the timeline, and there was, I think the Shade Room posted a clip, and the first song was like, I admit, you know, I like women, young women and old women, but who could call that a pedophile? It was just...
Which is, all right, so this is crazy. This song actually came out years ago. Like, I remember when the song came out, like, before, when he was, like, I guess, like, when the swell of, like, R. Kelly is an abuser and a pedophile came out, he came out with the song. This song itself is fucking old. And it was creepy when it came out then. It's creepy that it's on the timeline now. Also, like, he's already in jail. In my mind, he's probably like, I might as well just put this out and say I admit it.
Well,
but it's like, it's a tongue-in-cheek I admit it. It's not like he's being sincere. He's like, I admit I'm not singing the song.
Please.
But like, but like, he's being very tongue-in-cheek about it, trying to like defend himself about it and shit. Like, how can it be pedophile? Like, I don't know.
Keep singing it.
That wasn't.
You keep saying you're not gonna sing it.
That wasn't singing so much as me doing a
reenactment.
Impression.
A parody.
Yes, it falls under parody law, so we can't get sued. We can't get sued now because that motherfucker ain't got no money. Like, he's in jail. He's in jail.
Apparently, R. Kelly put out a statement. Well, thankfully, Spotify and Apple Music removed it from the streaming platforms. I'm still pissed off that they added it in the first place.
That it got added. Yeah,
but they've removed it since yesterday. And R. Kelly put out a statement from his lawyer saying that it's a plot to undermine him in court, and he did not do this and did not put it out. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
I mean, we'll see. He's trying to appeal his federal conviction because he's trying to say that people lied and fabricated their stories, et cetera, et cetera. And I want to say, fuck you, R. Kelly.
Fuck R. Kelly.
And anyone who supports him.
Fuck R. Kelly and fuck anybody who plays his music. Stop playing his music.
It's really not. There's so much music to play.
There's nothing that dries me up. Dries my panties up more than hearing your body is calling me.
Yes. Same.
Because I can't remove, like, listen, this whole, I'm not going to get into this right now, but the idea of, like, you can divorce the art from the artist, it's difficult to do when the motherfucker was making art and making such specific art that ties into the DNA of the crimes that he was committing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing if there was like, ooh, I drew a picture of a flower and I'm over here murdering people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's another thing.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
I'm drawing pictures of dead bodies while I'm creating dead bodies.
But the thing is, like, people...
That's what it feels
like Jeffrey Dahmer and Ted Bundy and all these other serial killers. The most insane thing about what their situation is that they have followers who, like, love them. So it doesn't really matter what somebody has done. People will still find a way to excuse it so that they can still engage with them in whatever way possible. Yeah. And it's not to say, like, I'm sure, like, we know about R. Kelly. Mm-hmm. We know about, Woody Allen. Mm-hmm. We know about a bunch of people. But there's plenty of people that we probably either don't know about or don't have concrete evidence about, where we don't want to look into it maybe even more, because we don't want to have to, like, throw out all of Marvin Gaye's music. Mm-hmm. Even though we might hear rumors. But until something's solidified, we're just like, we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to think about it. But when we have the solid evidence right there in our face.
And we have 2 documentaries with, like, a football field full of victims.
We don't even need documentaries. We have Aaliyah. She's the one. She's the one documentary we needed. Yeah. Like, the single one that alone should have been okay. And I mean, I don't know about you, but at Howard, I had a lot of people from Chicago on my floor, and all of us heard stories from them, talking about him being there at their middle schools and high schools and things and all that. One
of my exes was from Chicago, and she was just like, R. Kelly would just go to the McDonald's near the high school and just like...
And be there.
And just be posted up.
And just be...
Shout out to Marie, by the way.
So, we know. We know what's happening, and we don't need to engage any further. Well, that's it. We hope he stays in jail.
Yes.
So, fuck you, R. Kelly.
Fuck you, R. Kelly. Stay under the jail.
Speaking of alleged sexual abusers or, people under criminal charges, Nick Carter, the Backstreet Boy and brother of Aaron Carter, R.I.P., is back in the news because a fan has alleged that in 2001,
I'm glad I held my joke.
Thank you. In 2001, after a concert, that Carter invited her onto his tour bus and sexually assaulted her and raped her. Now she's autistic. She has cerebral palsy. And so I guess I'm sure she was even the situation has even been more exacerbated due to her physical disabilities. Mm-hmm. And the fact that now, she's been dealing with this over 20 years. And I want to say this is not the first time, unless there's another person, I don't think this is the first time I have heard of him being sued, because I remember a few years ago, he and Aaron Carter had gotten into a public beef because a woman had come out saying that that Nick Carter had assaulted her and raped her, and then Aaron Carter sided with the woman and was like, Nick, you need to get help, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. And that caused strife between them. But Shannon Shea Ruth is suing him for sexual battery and intentional and negligent infliction of emotional distress. She was 17 at the time. The court documents say that Carter brought Ruth to the bathroom and then demanded she perform oral sex on him, and then continued to sexually assault her on the bed, and that she contracted HPV from the encounter. So this is a very sad situation. It's not wholly surprising given what we know about many men in power and what they've been allowed to get away with. So I hope that everyone is able to get justice in the situation. If there are more people that come forward and, strengthen her case. But I want her to get a fair shot in court, mm-hmm. because he is a very well-known, beloved, powerful, wealthy man. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. But the ABC was supposed to have a Backstreet Boys holiday special. They're not airing it anymore. But they did perform at Jingle Balls, the New York City That big like Christmas special they have in New York City every year.
Not the Rockefeller.
Not that. It's called Jingle Bells.
Oh, okay.
Or Jingle Balls.
I don't. There's like multiple.
There's
Christmas
multiple ones, but
specials.
Jingle Balls is like the big one where they always have the concerts and the people come. It's like it's a whole big concert.
Yeah.
But they still allow them to perform there. So I mean, he's not facing backlash, and I'm sure there are plenty of Backstreet Boys fans who are and incels that are gonna be pushing for him. So, we'll see. I hope that justice prevails.
Yeah.
In this case.
Yeah.
Okay, to move on to other people who should probably be in jail. Elon Musk. Now, there's been so many stories coming out about what do they call him? Apartheid Clyde.
Apartheid Clyde.
There's so many stories that come out about him that you never really know what's going to happen. But this last week, I was reading that the SEIU workers at the at the Twitter headquarters have gone on strike because of just the unfair working conditions, probably impacted by the fact that he has converted, and he's getting investigated by this. He's converted some of the offices in the headquarters into bedrooms so that the employees can sleep there, which is ridiculous because why would you need to sleep at work? You're not like doctors sleep at work, which I still feel like is also predatory and they shouldn't have to do that. They should be able to go home. But like if you're a doctor sleeping at work because you're on call in the case of a medical emergency, there's no emergency that's happening at Twitter that should cause me to be sleeping at my desk.
No matter how many times Kanye tweets, it is not an emergency. It's not an emergency.
So he's being investigated he's being protested by the janitors, like they're no longer working. Mm-hmm. He's being investigated about his changing some of the rooms into bedrooms because, like, just simply, when you buy real estate, it
has to be designated as a business zone.
Exactly. So it's either it's a business, it could be residential. Sometimes it can be mixed, but you still have to have very specific credentials for whatever you're doing when you're having these buildings. Yeah. And he is flouncing that, which he tends to do. And then he's in other legal trouble. Well, potential legal trouble because do you remember how he said he was creating the Neuralink?
What is the Neuralink?
So it's supposed to be like a chip you could implant in your brain, and he said it's going to help people.
Some like Black Mirror shit.
Exactly.
Some cyberpunk shit.
So he wants to create a chip to be able to put it in people's brain, and he's saying it's all altruistic because this way he'll be able to help paraplegics walk and those who are mute speak and all these just beautiful, this is an amazing, technological advance, when in reality he just wants to make money and probably turn people into drones. But he's getting in trouble because of the fact that they're doing animal trials right now. And in the Neuralink headquarters, they have been losing so many animals due to
they're testing on animals and the animals are dying.
They're dying either because the testing didn't work or because of the testing, it's causing issues in them and they have to end up euthanizing them. And so, like, they've lost, it was something like 80 animals total, maybe like 6 monkeys, 36 pigs and sheep.
Well,
and it's like the numbers are going up.
Fucking brains and shit. Like,
they're operating on their brains. They're operating on their spinal cords. And the fact that he wants to have. Oh, sorry. My numbers were way off. It says that in total, the company has killed about 1,500 animals, including more than 280 sheep, pigs, and monkeys since 2018. Where's Jane Goodall? Because she'll be on the case for this.
Well, I thought Jane Goodall was also problematic.
No, she's not the problematic one.
Isn't she?
Aren't all the white Jane ladies good? Jane Goodall, and then the Jane that does the
Jane Judi Dench. Jane Judi Dench. My apologies. Jane Judi Dench.
This is why.
Jane Judi Dench. My bad. I keep fucking it up. Jane Judi Dench.
Just shenanigans.
That's
at
what
every corner.
That might be the title of this.
Anyway,
Judy Dench.
Jane Goodall needs to come in and talk to them and get some people riled up so that they can storm the castle and get free these animals. But the reason why so many animals are dying is because he's rushing everything, and he wants to rush through the processes that normally would happen, which would be, you take time to test to see if something's going to work on one animal. If it doesn't work, then you might bring in another one, and then you go through all the trial and error in the scientific process. He doesn't want to do that. He said he wants to have the Neuralink ready for human testing in 6 months. Now, I don't know about any of you.
That's not enough. First off, it takes Sony years to get a PlayStation together.
I mean,
and that has nothing to do with the human brain.
Just remember how
imagine
terrible your first smartphone was. I had the Google One and I had the Dash. And both of those fucked up so much.
Why did you have a Google phone?
I like Google phone. I personally like Google phones. The only reason I don't have one is because there's more people have Apple phones, and integration for all of my work things has been easier. But honestly I prefer the Google phones. But just think about the first Google phone and the first Apple phone compared to now. All of these different things, and even now. My Apple sometimes be fucking up. Mm-hmm. I still can't get Siri to respond to me in a timely, accurate fashion. So you want me to put a brain chip in my head for the sake of bettering my health? When what if it glitches and fries my whole brain? Just anybody who has any sort of mental, physical ailment, please do not sign up for this. I bet you, I can imagine. He would try to do. Remember that Black Mirror or was it Black Mirror? No, remember the Purge where they were killing people for money. The Purge, the beginning, the first one. The second one.
Okay, I don't. I never saw the second.
Well,
one. I only saw the
people
first
don't
one.
do it. Don't let him pay you to sacrifice your lives.
Crime is legal.
All right.
As a side note. If crime was legal, I would just jaywalk all the fucking time. I wouldn't do the bigger crimes of I'm gonna murder because it's legal on this one day. No, I'm gonna steal. That's my purge. My purge is just I'm gonna steal stuff from my friends.
Lock all your shit up.
Yeah, exactly. Lock your shit up. Look, if I can get in there, then it's mine now. But if you lock it up, then that's just what it is.
All right. So moving forward, the police officer in the George Floyd case, J. Alexander Kong, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing the last name right, has been sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. So, I mean...
Fuck him. Should be longer.
Should be longer because you let a man die. And you're a constable of... the people. So, fuck you.
Fuck you.
And then in other news relating to people going to prison, the Colorado shooter is facing 305 criminal counts for the massacre in Colorado that killed 5 and wounded 17 others in November. So, we will see how that goes.
And see you in hell.
I hope that he gets
from heaven, obviously. I won't be in hell.
A fair and equitable trial that puts him away for as long as he needs to be. And hopefully he'll get rehabilitated. Or I don't know, they're still saying that they might be non-binary. But the person, I want them to get what is coming to them. Now, on to less stressful, obnoxious things.
This is actually good news for me.
This is very good news for you.
Yes, it is.
Plenty of other men around the world. Nia Long has officially broken up with her nasty, dirty, cheating husband, ex-fiance, Ime Udoka, who has brought shame to the Nigerian name. Well, because you fumbled the fucking bag that is Nia Long.
You really fucked up. But hey, look how tall he is too. Of course he was always gonna be.
But it's Nia Long.
I know it's Nia Long. I know, man. First off, this message goes out to Nia Long. If you can hear this, good for you, girl. Like, do your thing, but just know that not all men are like Ime. And if you will have me, I will treat you right. I will drink your bathwater. I will honor you like the American actor goddess that you fucking are.
The Black Queen.
The blackest of queen. The Black Queen that you are. And the age gap don't even matter. Because who cares?
All right.
I was gonna quote something, but then I was like, "Oh no, damn, that's nasty." But no, like in this case, I'm a grown man in his 30s. You are beautiful and ageless, and therefore,
just up your.
If you're looking for somebody who's got he's got his own podcast going on.
You have your own apartment.
Yeah, exactly. I have my own. Yes, I have my own apartment.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm doing big things.
You have a 401k?
Big shit popping.
All right, so on to other cheaters. We've talked about this TJ Holmes and Amy Robach situation on Good Morning America. Mm-hmm. They have been replaced on the show now. So a new light-skinned black man is getting his day in the sun. Mm-hmm. DeMarco Morgan is his replacement, and he's a very attractive man. I would like to let everyone know that he is openly gay, so the women can stop, throwing their panties. And, stop.
And I can start throwing my panties.
Yes. Because now look at this. Now you got two people that you can reach for, and he's more accessible. He's in New York.
There he is. Yeah, look at him.
He's very attractive, and
first off, I'm front in that line for Nia Long, mind you. I'm in the front lines for Nia Long. You're gonna have to get behind me, sir.
Maybe you guys could be brother husbands.
No, I don't share.
You can be brother husband.
Sharing is caring, but in this case, clearly sharing is not caring because Ema tried to share.
But he didn't try to share. He tried to sneak and have extra snacks.
Sneaky Link. Oh, remember that terrible song by DaBaby? Yes. Sneaky Link. Ugh.
All right. So, everyone.
She's been through enough.
All the men who like men, please sneak into DeMarco Morgan's DMs. Watch him on Good Morning America.
And also, this is just another opportunity for another brother to get exposure. So
do you think they switched? They hired him because he's gay and he won't have a sex scandal with one of the female co-hosts?
I don't think that's the reason. I don't want that to be the reason.
I was just thinking about that. I was wondering, because there's several other, attractive black
gay people
hosts.
can have scandals too.
Did you not listen to what I said?
With the female co-host. We were at that one party and that one woman was trying to kiss that gay guy and they ended up making out.
Oh yeah, Richard's birthday party.
Yeah. So
happy birthday, Richard.
Sexuality is a spectrum. So
it is definitely, it's very fluid.
Anybody can fool around with anybody.
But I'm just thinking when I saw them, because I was thinking they have several other black.
And I agree with you. No brother husbands. Anyhow, continue.
They have several other black men who could have filled in. But I was thinking, were they just trying to ensure that none of these other white ladies decided they wanted to taste some chocolate and said, you know what, how do we nip this in the bud? Get to Marco.
Maybe.
Well, either way, I'm glad for him because now we get more family representation on Good Morning America. So shout out to all the black queer people. And hopefully we see some black queer love on Good Morning America. and more. And I know that the racists and the homophobes are shaking. All right, so we have a few more things before we go on break. One, Rush Hour 4 is in the works.
Rush Hour 4, boy oh boy.
4.
Two communities coming together to make problematic comedy that will probably be, rated R.
I hope that they have a Black and Asian writers, showrunners, and producers on here. Because the thing about
not showrunners.
Whatever. What would it be? I don't know. You know the terms.
Directors.
Okay, director and all that. Like, I want them to have them in the room because I think there's a difference between when you are making fun of yourselves versus when somebody else is making fun of you.
Yeah.
Now, we will say, like, we watched Rush Hour. What was it? Homecoming. We watched.
Yeah, we watched it at Homecoming.
The jokes were funny.
There were some funny jokes, but there was also some problematic shit in there.
But some of them were funny, and I think that there's a difference between making stuff that's like, ooh, that's a little raunchy, and then making stuff that's just like, you don't understand anything that's happening in our community, and you're just making a mockery.
Yeah.
And I think that by having Black and yellow people on where they need to be in the room where it happens, we can mitigate that and then, get some good movie magic going. And I look forward to watching it.
Yeah. I agree.
Kiki Palmer, our favorite Black actress
from Nope and from Akilah and the Bee
and from True Jackson VP.
I told you that I always get Kiki Palmer and Kyla Pratt mixed up.
Yes. Well, they were both quintessential, like, during our young age and teens, like, and their names both start with K.
With KP.
Yeah. And they were both, like, those were names that you did not hear.
Kiki Palmer.
At all.
Yeah.
You know what? Kiki Palmer and Kyla Pratt should do a Disney Nickelodeon, because True Jackson VP was on Nick.
Yeah.
So I think they should do a Disney Nickelodeon sister mashup of, like, their adult sisters.
Kyla Pratt was the one in Proud Family, right?
Proud Family.
Okay, yeah.
Proud Family
True
and One-on-One.
Jackson. Wow. And yes,
so
obviously,
I think they should do
the show that took place in Baltimore. I know.
I forgot that it was in Baltimore. Yep. Okay, that makes sense.
Sometimes take a smile and you be all by yourself.
Do you want to save that for the
partner next? And no one else. All right, that's enough.
Are you done?
Yes.
Thank you. So they should do one, and so we can get some mashups with them and their kids, because Kyla Pratt's kids are really cute.
Yeah.
But
call it KP Power Hour.
Okay, so she's expecting her first child with her boyfriend Darius Jackson.
I wonder if he took her TV name.
Yes, he took her TV name so they could name their child True.
Yeah, there we go. Oh my God, that child's name should be True.
It should, just so we could keep it up. Like we should just do that just because. And we're very excited for her. She announced it on SNL, and I'm looking forward to seeing this cute, adorable baby come home. I hope she has a safe, happy, and healthy pregnancy. Because, y'all, if you don't know what pregnancy could do to a person's body, please look it up. I'm talking about your teeth falling out, your nipples falling off.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we know that you have your things about pregnancy.
These are just facts. What's wrong with stating the facts?
Okay, yes, we understand that these are facts.
Pregnancy is
big
difficult,
facts. Big
which is why
facts.
Anyone who has a child should be treated with love, respect, and honor.
Okay, all right, okay.
And given a stipend for the rest of their fucking lives.
Okay, thank you. And that has been Odie's Pregnancy Soapbox.
Yes. All right, and one last thing before we go on break. We have very sad news that after 7 years, Trevon Noah is saying goodbye to The Daily Show.
Now, I wanna applaud Trevon Noah's stint as the Daily Show host. Like, he had big shoes to fill for not John Oliver.
Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart. There we go. I was about to say John Stamos for some reason. Anyhow, he had big shoes to fill from Jon Stewart. I think he did an amazing job. Like he made the Daily Show his own. Like the Daily Show was way different of an entity before he came around, and now it's in like a class of its own. Like, and I would say whoever has the honor, the privilege, and the duty to take the reins from him, they have another set of big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Because Trevor Noah was a powerhouse, and he brought a lot of different diverse voices to the table. Mm-hmm. Roy Wood Jr., Danny Chang,
Jessica Williams.
Wait,
was Larry Wilmore?
No, Larry Wilmore was not on.
He was on with Jon Stewart.
He was on with Jon Stewart. I thought Jessica Williams was on with Jon Stewart too.
Oh, maybe she was. But Amber Ruffin, was she on?
That was Seth Meyers.
Seth Meyers. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, either way, he still brought a bunch of other. What's his name? What did you name the bald black guy?
What bald black guy?
Or maybe the older black guy?
Roy Wood Jr.
That's you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're glad for all the people that you brought into our lives.
Yes.
It was amazing. And I want to say this is one part of his farewell speech that I wanted to read because I thought it was very poignant and kind of encapsulated what Trevor Noah's, like, what he embodied and the appreciation that I have for him. But he said, "I'm often credited with having these grand ideas. Who do you think teaches me? Who do you think has shaped me, nourished me, informed me? From my mom, my my aunts, all these black women in my life, but then in America as well. I always tell people, if you truly want to learn about America, talk to black women. Because unlike everybody else, black women can't afford to fuck around and find out. Black people understand how hard it is when things go bad."
Yes.
And I want to say thank you, Trevor Noah, for always uplifting black women, for always putting us on a pedestal and giving us the honor and respect we deserve.
Yes.
Because that is not something that you see from a lot of black men on television, anywhere, in real life, on Twitter. There's a lot of haters out there, and then just in general, he gave a platform to a lot of black women and a lot of black people that needed it, that deserved it, and I appreciated everything that you did. And also, Trevor, if you're looking for a co-host in life,
okay, all right. First off,
I'm here for you.
You
okay?
Have Roman Reigns. You have.
Okay.
Half of the WWE roster.
All right.
To go
and
through.
I'm looking for one more.
And you're looking for one more.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Why not?
Right.
You can have Nia Long, but I can't have Trevor Noah.
First off, you don't get to have Nia Long. You graciously anticipate her acceptance of Nia Long.
Well, you graciously accept Nia Long, and I'm going to have Trevor Noah. Thank you. If you're listening to this, Trevor.
If you're listening to this, Nia.
Here we are. You know what? We would be so well. We're both Half-Africans. I'm half Nigerian. You're half South African.
I thought he's full.
No, isn't his father Swedish or something?
Oh, yeah, that's right. His
father's Swedish or German.
I thought you call yourself African because you were born in the States, but... Your dad is...
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm both American and Nigerian.
Oh, okay. But
although, I've heard competing thoughts.
African is more like African American.
No, well, see, when I say African, if I said African American, I don't know, that doesn't sound weird. That sounds weird. But saying African is because I'm half Nigerian. Well, not half, but I'm Nigerian and I'm American. So I'm both. And... Now, I have heard some people who say that they call themselves Half-Africans because they're African and they're white. That is also a term I've heard. The way that I was introduced to the term Half-African was from a Kenyan friend I have, Hainal Yaka, who is Kenyan and American.
Ode definitely wants a harem. That is big fucking facts. She wants to be surrounded by... a trough of men. But that's neither here nor there.
And women. I would put
men and women.
I was gonna say
humans,
I would add Brittany Griner, but I don't
individuals.
wanna be disrespectful to her wife.
Yes.
If Brittany Griner was single
Or Polly. Yes.
then I would allow her to be in my hair.
Okay. Anyhow.
All right. Well, folks, we will be right back.
We'll be right back. We're taking
it's gonna be like a minute or less.
We're gonna take a quick break and we will be back with more of the Black and Snerdy podcast.
Yeah, because Instagram only lets us do this for 60 minutes and
here we go.
Time's running short.
All right, be right back.
BRB.
You're listening to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
We now return to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
Hey Panini, don't you be a meanie. Thought you wanted me to go. Why you trying to keep me teeny? It's a dreamy. Wished it on a genie. Got fans finally. Thought you wanted me to see me. I thought you want this for my life. For my life. Said you wanted to see me thrive. You lie, just say to me what you want from me. Just say to me what you want from me. Hey Panini, don't you be a meanie. Thought you wanted me to go. Why you trying to keep me teeny? Now you need me. Number one on streaming. Oh yeah, you used to love me. What happened? What's the meaning? I thought you want this for my life. For my life. Say you wanted to see me thrive. You lie. Now when it's all done, I get the upper hand. I need a big biz, not another fan. I still want you as a fan. I'ma need to sit down, I need to make them plans, but I need you to say to me what you want from me. Just say to me what you want from me. All right, and now let's take a shot real quick. Yes, chowder.
To a great episode.
Second half, back with math.
Look me in the eyes.
Whew.
Wow.
Ha. Ha.
Rick Ross over here.
Oh.
All right, so
Think of Big Meech.
Larry
Hoover.
on our second half of the show, we enter with our mental health
Just let me.
segment.
Because we are advocates, not experts
Not
when it
experts.
comes to mental health, and we like to check in with each other's mental health.
All right.
I was still
You were.
finishing up the shot that I took. It was still ravaging my throat.
I mean, we have not eaten, so I
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
literally in
Hours. And hours.
No, hours and hours and hours, like
Yeah.
Money Long said.
Yeah. Money long. Like Money Long said. So yeah.
Okay, so are you ready for the question?
Yeah. What's the question?
What's the funniest thing your inner child wants?
Food.
No, because your inner child wants that, your inner teenager wants that, your current adult wants that. You always want food.
My inner child. The funniest thing my inner child wants. Probably all the Lego playsets that I wasn't able to get as a kid. And it's
Like what?
and it's the Death Star. Mm-hmm. I wanna build the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why I don't buy those things for me now is because Lego playsets cost so much more now. Ever since they got all the licensing for all the fucking properties and shit, Harry Potter Legos.
They have some really cool Harry Potter Legos.
DC superhero Legos and Marvel superhero Legos. They have so many different Legos now.
Yeah.
And they all cost like $40, $50 for like one of the smaller packs.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and you could get like one of the, like 12 to 20 brick sets for like $20, but like that's such a small, ridiculously like little build that like it would be done within 30 minutes.
One of my besties, shout out to you, Tamara.
30 minutes? It'd be done in 10 minutes.
My birthday one year, she sent me a Harry Potter, like it's the Lego set with the little figurines. I think it has Harry, Hermione, and Ron. Yeah. And then like maybe something else in there. And I love it. It's so cute. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to like buy more Lego, like buy more of them. It's kind of like you have to buy them piece by piece. Yeah. Versus just expecting to just get it all at once. Yes. But that's a great one. Yeah. I would say...
What's the funniest that your inner child would want?
I don't know if you could say... Can you... First of all, shut up because you're not correct. Number one. So egg on your face.
Shoes, dresses, purses.
The number one thing that I would want...
Something to wear.
Is an American Girl doll.
Why is that the funniest? Oh, because you want the one that owns slaves?
What? I don't want Molly or whatever, Samantha or whatever her name was. No. I want an Addie doll. Actually, I don't want an Addie doll. I want the create your own so I can make an Ode
Digivice
doll.
would be so fucking cool.
Oh, a Digivice?
Yeah.
Did they make ones for people to use? Like, did they like a Tamagotchi thing?
Shout out to Miss Merritt Bitcoin.
Yes. Shout out to you.
Yay.
Because you're not a bot at all. You know what? I also want a Tamagotchi.
Oh, you know what? Did you ever have a Gigapet?
I had a Gigapet and a Tamagotchi.
What Gigapet animal did you have?
I don't honestly.
I had a frog, and that was because
I probably had a cat or a
when
dog.
I was a kid, I loved frogs. The weird thing is, like, I was always creeped out by live frogs, but like I used to collect stuffed frogs and toy frogs, and I had frog linens and frog sheets and shit.
I love frogs. I
like the idea of frogs because
I like them because they jump.
Yeah, they're green.
They're
they have big ass fucking tongues.
It's so cute.
Big ass tongues, long tongues that they could use as weapons to get food.
You just like them because they could grab food with their tongue.
Yeah, we go. Yeah. Yes, we're unlocking memories left and right.
I would say I would want an American Girl doll. I want a my size Barbie. I want the Barbie Jeep.
Yeah, that Barbie
because
Jeep.
my mom refused
refused me to get
the
get
my size Barbie
Jeeps.
Because she said it's creepy, and unless that doll can clean the house, she's not getting it. And I can see her saying that. Definitely, right? And then she said that she wouldn't get the and now she was talking about yesterday she wanted to listen in. She's not even here, and I'm talking about her. And also I would get. She said she wouldn't get the Jeep because she said unless it's a car I can drive, I'm not buying it. And I'm like, what kind of response is that?
That is what my mom said as well.
To my desire for the Christmas.
It's like that's not gonna drive me to the stove. So why would? No, I think you gotta flip it. Not that. I think you gotta flip that part.
Well, anyway, I think that we need reparations from our parents for not getting us these things. Because if I would have gotten the Barbie car, I wouldn't have asked, I wouldn't have been like, I need the Barbie car, I need the Barbie this. I would have just wanted the Barbie car and have my little Barbie next to me. But I will say, kudos to my mom that she didn't get me the Barbie car, the big one. But I got the small little car that had all the seats. Yeah. That I could push around. She got me this really great dollhouse that I'm loved.
I'm not getting my kids any children's toys.
What are you gonna get them? Bricks?
They're getting Lego. I mean, they're getting Legos and Lincoln Logs.
I loved Legos and Lincoln Logs.
Yeah, Lincoln Logs.
We
need to bring back Lincoln Logs.
And one of my favorite Christmas gifts was my mom got me a train set.
Oh, my mom also got me a train set.
That moved around.
Yeah, like
and all that.
We put it around the Christmas tree.
Yeah, we did too. It was so cute. I loved it. I loved that.
Until she saw the electricity bill and she was like, all right, enough of this bullshit.
You want to know one of my favorite Christmas gifts? It was the Barbie mall, and the you pushed a button and the
elevator would the
escalators
would
worked.
go, yeah.
And
But you couldn't put Barbie on top of it.
You had
it
to
kept
hold
falling
her.
It down.
It didn't have like good steps for her to
Ridiculous.
like hold it in.
Ridiculous.
They should have had like a little magnetic thing.
Yeah.
To like move it. But yeah, I would say
But it wouldn't have worked with all Barbies. You would have had to buy the
very
Barbie
specific
mall
Barbie.
Yeah.
But I personally still want an American Girl doll just because my older sister got one. And my mom wouldn't buy me one because she said I used to destroy my dolls. But I would have not destroyed.
How did you destroy your dolls?
So this is the thing. I didn't destroy them. I just used to color.
I would color
on them. I would cut their hair or color their hair. I would style them. But this is what happens when you have a neurodiverse child. Okay? You know, we like to do things a little differently. We don't run.
We used to like to do things.
We don't.
A little differently.
We walk by the beat of our own drum.
Okay, roll back.
But I would have not cut that doll's hair or colored on it. I would have kept her nice and safe, and I would have played with her, and I just would have loved her.
All right.
Okay.
Well, all right. You say so.
I would have, because there were certain things I didn't destroy.
You say so.
Well, looking forward to someone getting me an American Girl doll.
Fans out there,
please send me one.
And get her the one that used to be a slave owner.
No.
Yeah, get her the white one.
Either
Molly
get me
or
Addie,
Shannon.
or there's a new Black American Girl doll. I'm gonna find her name right now.
The one that used to be a slave?
No, not Addie. And I think that Addie was born either during slavery or right after slavery. Because they were saying they were putting out a new one, and she came out in like...
You look a Black American Girl doll, and the first 3 images were white.
Well, Addie Walker's the American Girl's first one. But, okay, look at this one. New American Girl doll celebrates Black joy during the Harlem Renaissance. Claudie Wells. Now, I don't personally want her. I want Addie.
She looks...
No, I don't want that. I don't know who that is.
Awful. She has a Cabbage Patch face.
I think, honestly...
Look up Claudie Well, y'all, because she has, like, the most Cabbage Patch face, and this the most basic bitch-ass fucking Renaissance.
What were they supposed to put her in? They couldn't put her in, like, a little flapper. Okay, this one's much better. This is much better. But it looks like, because she still has a little gap, it looks like they just took Addie's doll and because they...
Yeah, that's all they did. They only have
hair.
one model. They're not going to make a new Black American doll.
Okay,
look
but
at
look at her. This was a very Beyonce outfit.
First off,
this
those
is Beyonce.
lips are not.
This is a Beyonce wore. It's not. They're not. They gave her just. They didn't change the lips on the dolls.
Exactly. They're not going to change the lips on these fucking American Girl dolls.
But I want
that is a white doll in blackface.
Yes.
I'm boycotting the American Girl dolls because the black dolls are just in blackface.
Well, either way, I still want one. I want an American Girl doll that I can call the Ode doll.
Dipped in cocoa.
With I can get her
Swiss Miss looking fucking dolls.
Not a Swiss Miss.
Yeah, that's the complexion.
You're just hungry.
I am hungry. I am.
Do you like hot chocolate with marshmallows?
Yes.
I love it with marshmallows.
Yes.
And Swiss Miss, even though they're a little more I used to
eat the packets by themselves.
Of course we know you did because you always put things in your mouth. You should just.
Ew.
I used to love making the Swiss Miss because when you would microwave it, it would have like kind of that chocolatey, kind of candy coated top with the marshmallows, and then I would eat that off first, and then I would drink the hot chocolate.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just hop into our regular mental health segment. We've kind of gone into a tangent.
Yes.
How have you been? How is your mental health?
Well, my blue period is officially over.
Ooh.
I am no longer.
Where are the children's voices that are usually there? See, it's not my fault.
The children's voices are.
We usually have children's voices that go.
Not on this one. You could just do this.
Wow. All right. Well, there we go. Wow. So, okay, your blue period is over.
Well, now
That's
my
awesome.
blue period's back. Now I'm depressed again, guys. I'm back to being depressed because of this lack of synergy.
Sorry.
It's fine.
It's just because we're hungry.
It's fine. I am hungry.
We shouldn't record when we're starving.
Yeah.
Usually we do
shouldn't
it late
record
in the
and then
evening.
drink and then do this podcast when we're hungry.
We usually drink. Just do it
The
in the
only thing
evening.
that's in the
We've
fucking
already eaten.
refrigerator right now is those weird ass spare.
The spare ribs were good, but my food is. I'm calling them back. They gave me a little bit of food poisoning, and I want a refund.
Yes, your stomach was like gurgling. And,
Yes.
and
I was
making
worried.
noises
I was worried.
like
Thank
it was
God
a
nothing.
heffalump or woozle.
Heffalump. I want to be a heffalump for Halloween one year.
If you're gonna be a heffalump, I'll be a woozle.
Okay, we're gonna be a heffalump and a woozle one year.
Do you know that it took me entirely far too long as a kid to realize that they were saying elephants and weasels?
I knew heffalump was like a
type of elephant
because it looked like
because it had the trunk.
But woozle did not.
Was a weasel.
I did
you
not.
had to watch. You know what? You had to watch. Cause you had to watch. The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
I did watch that
Gotta
one.
get up. Gotta get going. I'm gonna see a friend of mine. He's brown and he's fuzzy. I love him because he's just Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh Bear. Looking for fun, chasing some honeybees. Pooh Bear, I gotta be there. Rumbly tumbly, climbing a honey tree. Fun never ends for us. We're so adventurous. It's every now and again. And when it gets done. Okay, enough.
I feel like the way you started that off, it sounded real smooth and R&B like, and I feel like they need to make that into a little R&B song. Because the way you started it off, I said, why does this song sound so
An
sexy?
R&B children's
Because it sounded sexy when you started singing it.
Sea Bear and Jamal.
It wasn't until you got into the new adventures part, but the beginning is this is smooth and little sexy R&B song. I want someone to do it.
All right, yeah.
Listeners, please make a sexy R&B version of the new adventures of Winnie.
Or make a R&B version. It doesn't have to be sexy.
It's gonna be sexy if it's R&B.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be
there are
sexy.
some unsexy R&B songs. And
Don't
we can
call it sexy.
We can get into that another day. We
Another
don't have
day.
enough time. But I'm out of my blue period.
Yay!
I'm feeling a lot better.
Yay!
I'm on the come up, and now I'm just like easing right into like my average sort
He's
of
on
week.
He's on down the road.
We both have ADD. We both do. Because all it takes is just one sentence.
You know, the thing is
One
just that
throwaway line in the sentence.
with neurodivergence, when you hear things, you relate to something
Is there
else. and
going to
then
be a
next thing you
singularity
know-
for the neurodivergence?
What do you mean?
They're always talking about the singularity.
Can you explain? I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not going to explain.
Well,
I
I
thought
don't
you would
know.
catch on.
No, I don't.
You've never heard of the singularity.
No.
Ew, what the fuck? You read so many fucking books, you've never read anything from fucking Isaac Asimov?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking about I thought you meant.
It's fine.
All right,
It's
fine.
It's fine. Move on.
We're moving on.
Move on down the topics. How are you doing? It'll take you significantly longer to update than it did for me because you're in therapy and I'm not in therapy and I don't have.
It's gonna take me singularly longer.
Well, first off, I didn't say that. I didn't say singularity
What did you
longer. I said it would take you significantly
Well, whatever. Same
longer
difference.
than.
How do you know it's gonna take me significantly longer to update than you?
Because you're long-winded.
At two, Brutus.
Yeah, but
You're long-winded as well.
yeah, but I know how to tell a story.
Oh, you're so glad we're on live. You should be so happy that we're on live. Well,
Oh, remember years ago I told you like I'm gonna teach you how to tell a story, and then I never did, and here we are, still no lessons learned.
I wish that I could tase you, and I'm going to do it one day. You're not going to be expecting it. You're going to be asleep. You're going to be taking a nap per usual. I'm going to come up
And then I'll
behind
spray you with pepper spray.
With what? Where's your pepper spray? Out of the two of us, who has all the weapons?
That's what I call my farts.
They are pepper spray,
Yeah.
so you're correct.
I'm a skunk.
No, I'm going to tase you, and I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to it because you've been terrorizing
I'm
me.
gonna spray you.
You've been terrorizing me constantly and consistently with no end.
At least I don't do it on the podcast.
Yes, you do!
Yeah, vocally, not like physically.
Oh, thank you for not physically. Stop it. Do not start that now. Okay? We're in front of company.
Yes. Sorry, Matt. Sorry that you had to witness this blow up. Is this how the Black and Snerdy podcast ends?
Yes. No, it's not.
All right,
We're just going to continue through our
How
shenanigans.
has your week
How
been?
has my week been? I would say it has been, well, one of the great things about being neurodivergent is that I have a great ability to compartmentalize. What did you say?
I said, because you said the wonderful thing about neurodivergence is I said neurodivergence is a wonderful thing.
Okay.
The tops are made out of rubber. The bottoms are made out of string. The fancy, pouncy, fancy, fancy, fun, 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 fun. The wonderful thing about neurodivergence is you're the only one.
Okay. So I'm able to compartmentalize things. So, and also I forget things a lot. And the one thing that I forgot, well, I didn't forget, but I have been compartmentalizing way back in my brain is that this week has been fucking shit because cancer sucks. And
Yes, it does.
fuck cancer every day of the week, forever and ever until infinity. Because this week my aunt passed away, and one of my close friends' husband passed away, both from cancer, and that has made this week, I would say, just excruciating for me. But I am very grateful to be in therapy, to talk about those things. But I am also exceedingly grateful for you.
Yes.
Because I felt like you were a very great support system for me this week. Which I think you are, just in general. I think we're generally a great support system for each other. But I think that you were a great support system for me this week because I was, of course, with you when I found out. Mm-hmm. And it was, I don't know how I would have been if I had been by myself. So thank you for being there and also for your kind words and all of your heartfelt gestures, because that helped me get through this terrible time. But the fact that I can say all this without currently weeping, I think is progress. And so I would say that my mental health this week has been as good as it could possibly be under these terrible circumstances. And I just want to let everyone know or remind everyone to take care of themselves, go to the doctor, get all your stuff checked out. We have no clue about what's going to happen to our bodies, and it's better to know so you can do something about it early, even the things that you don't think are important, because cancer is just ravaging our communities, like regardless of where you're from and who you are and how much money you have, because we're dealing with chemicals, forever chemicals in the water and chemicals in our food and family predispositions and all the other bullshit that we have to deal with in this world, on top of stress and other, triggers, and all those things can wreak havoc on our bodies. So just, take care of yourselves and take care of each other and love on your people while you can.
Agreed.
So yeah, are you that's all that I got this week. I will say, just again, go to therapy, find somebody, BetterHelp, Talkspace, Black girls, therapy for Black girls, therapy for Black men. Find your space. And that's all I got.
Okay. All right. So now, this is the part of the podcast where we talk about the things that fucked us up this week, that we got annoyed with, that we were pissed off with. There might be some overlap, and this is Gripes right here.
Bringing it. What? We gripe it. We're not griping anywhere else. We gripe it. This safe space for us to share. We gripe it. We ain't griping anywhere else. We gripe it.
All right, so you start since I went first this last time.
Oh, okay. Well, my number one gripe is cancer.
Fuck cancer.
Because fuck stupid cancer all the time.
Cancer
every
sucks.
day. My second gripe is the cold because
It is so fucking
cold.
That is actually my gripe for this week as well. Like, it got cold so fucking quickly.
The thing is,
and I'm not somebody who likes to be out in the goddamn cold.
it feels like we had some days where everybody was like, is it summer? What's going on? This is weird. Which happened. And then it was like, I don't want the polar ice caps to melt. And then literally the next day, it was like, oh shit, I need to put a jacket on. But then yesterday, literally, my hands were frigid. I had my gloves off for just going to walk my dog. And I said, this is too much. Like, I had to bring him back. After we went out, I had to bring him right back inside because it was literally too cold for him to be out there. And unfortunately, his little coat that I have for him, because he's had it for a while and I've been washing it, so like the Velcro's it's messed up. Mm-hmm. And so he can shake it off when he moves. And so he couldn't wear that, and I didn't want him to be out there because he'll get a cold. He's already been sneezing, and I don't need him to be sick on top of just everything else. So I went inside, and it was too much. And then, okay, this thing, there's my last thing I wanted us to discuss together. Do you want to say what you're mad about first? And then we can talk about my thing that I wanted us to talk about together.
I am mad at my super. We got the mold treated. But there's still leakage happening.
There is.
And if the leakage is still happening, then what the fuck is the point of the mold treatment?
Yeah.
He has been ghost when it comes to communication. But I've seen this motherfucker.
I've seen him as well.
Around the building.
I have also seen
him. And it's not like I can approach him and talk to him because, again, there's a language barrier.
The next time you see him, I'm going to come up there and I'm going to translate for you.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Because I can use my Spanish when needed, but I can get the point across.
Yes. Boy, oh boy, it's frustrating.
It
to
is.
Have to.
You're paying money to live somewhere, and they need to make sure that the living space is up to a standard that anybody could say is a decent.
It'll
standard.
be a Christmas miracle if this fucking thing gets fixed. Is what I'm saying. I have a carpet that I would like to put down. You see that carpet, and I can't put it down because
it's worrisome.
It could get fucking infected with water.
Yeah, and then
so I don't want to have to deal with that.
And possibly
the fact that I had to buy an HVAC is one thing, but yeah, it's a all-consuming thing. So anyhow,
no, I understand.
Yeah,
that's very frustrating.
Yeah.
But is that the only thing that you're upset about this week?
That is the only thing I'm upset about this week.
So my last thing that I'm upset about this week, and well, we'll just talk about it. So Deion Sanders. We all know who he is.
Yes.
Former football player, star
Deion.
football player. He's beginning of the pandemic in 2020. He made this whole stink about he was joining JSU, Jackson State University in Mississippi, joining the HBCU to coach. And the whole time he's talking about we need to support HBCUs. We need to recruit the star players at HBCUs because black schools deserve the top players because black schools create top people and they're just not given the chance. All that is true. HBCUs are historically underfunded. Their sports, as much as they might have great sports players, their sports teams are severely lacking when it comes to being recruitment because the other top black players, they'll go to these Big Ten schools.
Shout out to Religiously Dirty.
Hey. They'll go to these Big Ten schools that have a lot more money and can give them all these perks, et cetera, et cetera. But HBCUs, it is a frustration that they aren't where they could be or they need to be in the sense of getting the sports money and allocation that all these other schools get. And now, almost 3 years later, he is leaving to go to Colorado, to University of Colorado.
On a midnight train to Colorado.
And these are the things that I found that I had issue with. When he said, well, this is what he told his team. In coaching, you either get elevated or you get terminated. There ain't no grave hard for coaches where they die at the place. They're either going to run you off or you're going to walk off. Now, my problem with that statement, are you trying to say you're being elevated because you're going to a PWI? Because that's how I took it. That's how I took it. Now, on one hand, he is also getting a much higher contract. His contract for JSU was, I believe, $1.9 million. It was about $300,000 a year. The contract at the University of Boulder is like $29 million. It'll be about $5 million per year. Mm-hmm. But here are the things that this is why I take issue with this elevation statement. JSU doesn't have the $5 million per year to give you because HBCUs are historically underfunded and not given the money to be able to give you this quote unquote elevation. And the University of Boulder has said they don't even have the money for him yet. They're moving things. They said that they are moving things around to get the money to him. And if an HBCU had tried to say, "Oh, we're gonna see if we can get the money. We're working around. We're gonna get it to him," they would be a laughing stock to college sports. But because it's a PWI, it's okay. And then JSU has had a undefeated streak, 3-0 these last 2 years. Amazing. University of Boulder is 11-1. That means they have lost 11 games and won 1 game. So you're leaving. You went hard to recruit all these black players to come to this HBCU to make it an undefeated team. You got them a Under Armour deal. You got them all these other deals. It's like, great, this is awesome. And now you're leaving. Did you ensure that all these deals that you created are still going to be there? Did you find a replacement coach for you that was going to do as good as you did for the team or even better? And from what I read, he left the team's the game that he left to go meet with the University of Colorado. He didn't do a press conference after. He didn't talk to the team. He left after they won, he left to talk to the team after and said, "I'm going to University of Boulder to talk to them about a job." Nobody knew. And I just feel like that is shitty to the school. It is shitty to the players that you brought there. And then also you're gonna poach the players, including his sons, to come to Boulder, the people who are the top players on the team. So it's just all of this to me, it feels like it's not like people have been calling him, a sellout, and he's selling out HBCUs. That's not true. HBCUs were doing dope without him. We're going to do better without him. It shined a light on HBCUs that needed to get a light shined on them, and I'm sure that there are other people who are going to come in and do what's best for these places. But I think it's not that you're leaving, it's how you left. Because you couldn't give the school and the students, the athletes that you brought there, the respect they deserve, to let them know. Like, he has always said that if he got another opportunity, he would probably take it. But I just feel like this was not, the way that he did it was just, for me personally, distasteful.
Right. And
calling it an elevation over, I'm elevated because I'm going to University of Boulder. But how are you elevated? Because they're not. If he was talking about one of those Big Ten schools, University of Texas, something like that has an undefeated record, to me that's elevation. It's not elevation for you to go to a PWI, get more money just to coach a losing team. So those are my thoughts. Please let me know what you think.
Are you talking to the listeners or are you talking to me?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
But listeners, also, you can chime in.
My only thought is that I feel much like how you felt when you said, like, it's not what you do, it's how you leave them.
Yeah.
And he left them in the lurch.
Yes.
Like, it'd be one thing if he created an infrastructure and then set it up so that when he did leave, they were better off than when they started. Mm-hmm. But I don't even know if he left like a legacy there of any kind or left anything in place so that it was. What did he build up? Did he build anything up?
He kept saying he wanted to leave. Like, my thing is, you come to a HBCU, and there is I forget the name of the article, but it was, I believe, on The Root.
Did he leave them solid?
The writer was saying that he used HBCUs as a step stool, and didn't actually care about them. Because if you didn't know this, he was only able to, I forgot where he went to school. Let me look. He did not get his degree because he got what is the word? Drafted. And so he was not eligible to play or to coach college football. And he went to Florida State. Florida State, the non-HBCU, would not give him his degree so that he would be able to play, he would be able to coach college football. Tuskegee gave him a degree, which is an HBCU. Tuskegee gave him a degree so he could coach, so he can get his degree to coach. JSU gave him the opportunity because nobody else was giving him the opportunity. And then the first time a white university just waved some money over his face, he said, I gotta go. And it's not that I think that black people should not work for PWIs or white organizations and all that. There are plenty of us who have worked at black-owned companies and leave a black-owned company to go to a white-owned company because of the money or whatever. Stuff can possibly be better. That's not a problem. But you've talked up HBCUs. You acted like you were about to bring this whole fucking, like, this change, like you're the second fucking coming of Jesus to HBCUs. And then you stopped short of the purpose. And it's not that he had to stay there I didn't think he was going to stay there for 15 years. But could you have at least stayed there for like 4 years until these people graduated and then go on like a full college, what's it called? Term? Like 4 years or something. And even if you weren't going to stay, at least you could have given the respect to your student athletes to tell them, I'm entertaining this offer, this is what's happening. And then give them respect to close out their season before you go flying off to Colorado to see their great new, facilities, etc., and not making sure that you had a plan. Now, if it comes out that he had some plan to bring all these great football coaches to JSU, I will take it back. But we haven't seen it. We haven't heard it. All I've heard of him saying is how he's, we don't got to just stay where we are. We can elevate, whatever, bullshit. I don't care about that. All I care is that these students came to this school hoping to be coached by the best, and now they're going to be left in the lurch. And then maybe the worst part, that JSU is going to lose a bunch of great football players to a PWI because he's going to take them
with him.
Or they're going to go somewhere else that's going to poach them, because if they don't have not just the coach but the winning, if they don't have the team that they were on that was winning and helping them to get where they want to go,
the winning infrastructure.
So what is and when he was even saying he was talking about, I'm bringing back HBCUs, I wanted to tell him fuck you, we've always been here. But it was hopeful that it would be you're elevating HBCUs in the mainstream and getting the word out, and that's great for college football and college sports, et cetera, et cetera. But now it's just I see how we see all the time that black people will use HBCUs as a way to get culture credit and then just kind of leave us in the lurch whenever they decide it's necessary. And I think that we deserve better. Those students deserve better. HBCUs deserve better. And I'm hopeful that I hope that they get the best coach possible and they kick the University of Boulder's ass in every single game. That's it.
If they're in the same division.
Because I don't think they are. Because I think the JSU is in a smaller division.
Yeah.
But I still hope that they win whatever championships, and University of Boulder is just doing the same thing they've always doing, which is losing.
All right,
that's it. That's all that made me mad this week.
Same here. So let's talk about the things that made us happy.
I'm the baby merchant. Cats are us. I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give the baby merchant just a week or two. I'll have your baby for you.
All right. I'll start this off because you went first last.
Thank you very much.
Number 1, doing this podcast with you. Number 2, getting the mole treated. Because that was something that prevented me from sleeping in my bedroom, and now I'll still probably not sleep in my bedroom. But at least now I have the option.
You have the option.
I have the fucking option. Hanging out with my friends, hosting a game night. Mm-hmm. Game night / movie night.
That was very fun.
All my friends meeting my other friend KV finally, because
it's been a while.
I have been saying that I have this friend, never comes around. Finally, she came around. So shout out to you, KV. It was great. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you for being a friend.
And that's everything for me. How about you?
All right. Okay, number 1. This is a very sweet story. Jalen Smith of Earl, Arkansas, is an 18-year-old young black man who is the youngest black mayor in the country. Woo! I think that's awesome. I hope that he is getting all the support and love, and everything from his community, and that he is able to succeed, and who knows, maybe he'll be the next president, and maybe he'll be a senator in the House of Representatives. Whatever he wants to do, I'm looking forward to it, because to be able to be mayor while you're not even in college yet, I mean, that's crazy. And some of the best news this week, Brittany Griner is home. Finally. After almost 300 days, she is home. And I mean, I think we've talked at length on this podcast about why it was so important for her to, for the country to keep rallying behind her because of Russia. We know that they are anti-women, anti-black people, anti-gay. I mean, the list can go on, and her life was constantly in danger there. Because the last thing we had talked about last week was that she had been transferred to a penal colony that had a reputation for torture and slave labor. And I mean, that was in itself was enough for us to say, like, people really need to make sure they're doing what they can to get her home. So President Biden tweeted out this week that he had spoken to her and then she was back home. And now she was taken to the Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio for an evaluation to make sure she's okay. I'm hoping that she gets whatever therapy is needed, like physical therapy, emotional therapy, because this has been such a terrifying ordeal for her. And she and her wife have committed to helping Paul Whelan, who was another American who was who's currently in Russia, who was arrested, I believe, 12 years ago on spy charges. They said they're going to be committed to trying to help get him home as well. And I just would like people, I know this is not a gripe. This is not a gripe section. But a lot of people were complaining as to why she's coming home versus him, and he's a Marine, et cetera, et cetera. But I just want to read you something that one of his family, Paul Whelan's family, has said. And his brother, Dave Whelan, said, "It's great news. Anytime an American comes home is wonderful news. I'm so glad for Brittany and Sherelle. It's a wonderful day. I'm so glad that Brittany Griner's on her way home. As the family member of a Russian hostage, I can literally only imagine the joy she will have being reunited with her loved ones and in time for the holidays." And his family also emphasized that Brittany Griner, his family and also the government have emphasized that Brittany's case and his case were vastly different. Paul was arrested as a spy. She was arrested for having weed on her. So they were always going to treat the cases differently. He has been there for 12 years. Several presidents have tried to get him home. And unfortunately, it has not happened yet. That doesn't mean it will never happen, but we could be grateful and glad that at least one more person is home. And even if, people were complaining that she was traded for a Russian arms dealer, America is an arms dealer. So that's really insignificant. And literally, anytime there has been a prisoner swap, the swap has not been for someone who just knits sweaters and is wrongfully accused. The swaps are for usually the non-American person has done whatever, someone could consider egregious. Maybe it was a spy. Maybe they're a potential terrorist or an arms dealer or you could name it. There are plenty of articles. You can look them up. And just, how about we just be grateful that Brittany Griner is at home with her wife in time for Christmas, and she's able to go back to hopefully her, whatever life she decides, and not have possible harm caused to her in Russia. So that is a great thing, and we are very happy for her to be home, and we cannot wait for any and all POWs to be home. And I hope that this has pushed people who are now allegedly abolitionists to think about all the people that we have here on American soil who have been wrongfully convicted and put in prison for a myriad of crimes that do not need to have the many years and years and years of their lives taken away. So that's all I think we can. That's all for me. And then we're
that's everything for me. Let's wrap this up.
Our RIPs.
Okay.
And get out of here. So we have decided to move our rest in peace honors to the end of the podcast, because we just wanted to switch it up and give people a way of, even though we're honoring and it's not supposed to be a sad time, we recognize that some people may find this a little somber, a little solemn, and we'd rather end it versus beginning it on a solemn note. So first, we are going to send a rest in peace to Grant Wall, who was a sports journalist who unfortunately passed away at 48 in Qatar while he was covering the World Cup. There hasn't been an official reason for his death, but he had gone to the hospital and been sick. So just remember, journalist jobs are very stressful. They work a lot of long hours, sometimes with little sleep, little food, hydration. And so as much as it might seem like they're just talking to people and writing words, you never know the toll that could be taken on them. And there are many journalists who have experienced extreme exhaustion and other things doing their work. So we just send him and his family lots of love and thank you he was covering sports for many, many years. And he was beloved in the sports journalism world. So we're sending him and his family our respects. And then Tina Turner, her son, Tina and Ike Turner's son, Ronnie, passed away at 62. They again have not released any specifics, but he had been suffering from health issues in the past. And so I know that is a horrible thing for a mother to have to bury their child. And Tina posted up a Instagram post that said, "Ronnie left the world far too early. In sorrow, I close my eyes and think of you, my beloved son." He passed away at 62, which is, definitely a very, very young man who could have had many more years. And so we send Tina Turner and his family lots of love. And then this one is a more personal one to me. My friend Ashley Reese, her husband Robert Stengel, passed away, and at 34 years old. And Rob was such a great human being. I think that, and their love story was something that they need to write movies about. It was very beautiful. Them together was beautiful, and I am heartbroken that they will not be able to have many more years of life together, because when you see love like that, it touches your heart, and you hope that those people will be able to be together forever. But we're sending Ashley and Robert's family and all of his loved ones so much love, because that is especially hard, especially right now during the holiday times. This is probably the worst time to lose a loved one. And lastly, I am sending a rest in peace to my lovely, amazing, enigmatic, joyful baby Oku, my auntie Meg, who I am also her namesake. I have no words to describe how much that she meant to me, and she is a light that is going to be shining on us now from heaven. But no family gathering or will ever be the same without her. And I loved you more than words could say. And I honor you every day. So that's it.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us for this week's Black and Snerdy podcast. And we hope to speak with you again next week with more Black and Snerdy shenanigans.
All right. We shall see y'all next week. Until then, take it easy.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snerdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snerdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD, THATSOD.E. And on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snerdy podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet. Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.